name's Tom Stoukas, coming to you live from Sarnia, Ontario, June 7th, 2025. Nice day, I guess, nicer than usual, than we've been having lately, but still a little dusty from all the fires, I guess. Pretty bad. We gotta put up with dirty air now. And we got Carney doing his thing. Sorry, I'm just looking at the stuff on the news here. I think that it's been a little less than 2 months since he's been elected, and it's pretty obvious. He's basically, nothing's changed in Canada. It's basically the same policies, but without the fancy, the stupid socks and the embarrassing behavior, I guess, and the goofy behavior of Justin Trudeau. But the problems are still there. The policies are still there. In fact, they're probably going to go into hyperdrive now, because they might actually have a more efficient manager, although I don't know how competent Carney is. He's made out to be this infallible person. We'll see. But, he's got the same cabinet. He's got that twitchy Chrystia Freeland behind him. He's got Dominic LeBlanc and just the same crowd. Same policies. Just different guy at the helm. And I think they did that intentionally. They dumped it all on Trudeau. So, everything that's wrong with Canada was on Trudeau as one person, which obviously is not the case. It's not the case at all. So, that's the assessment I've gotten. I didn't want to be like a black pill and the minute he got elected say, we're doomed. I'd give him a chance, but that was just being a little bit fair, that's all. He's obviously the same style. I call him ultra globalist. Unlike Trudeau was a globalist, he's like an ultra globalist because he's smarter and he's more connected. And I think he's the closer on the project here in Canada. He's come in to close the deal because it's now or never. And they're close. I think they're close. They've destroyed all the institutions of the country, or taken them over. So he's the closer, and we'll see how far he gets. We'll see. He's taken a little flack here and there for some of his comments about I think he said the other day was Islamic values or Canadian values, which is weird because I've never heard of Prime Minister lately say Christian values are Canadian values, because he would be pilloried if they said that. So it's weird that he said Muslim values. It's kind of odd, but that's par with the globalist mindset. They don't mind, they want all these ethnic enclaves because it's, I don't know, easier to, they vote for liberals, so what do they care? They can do whatever they want as long as they vote liberal. So the thing with the Muslim thing and all that, and how they go to the Indian things and they dress up and they go to their temples, and this should never happen. Because if you look at the U.S., you don't see the president or the U.K., well, maybe the U.K. Prime Minister now, but you don't see the president going to a temple and wearing the whatever the hell, the gurkha, whatever. I don't know what the name is, but sometimes he does have a ceremony at the White House for Indian Independence Day or Greek Independence Day or Irish St. Patrick's Day, and he has a ceremony at the White House, which is on his home turf, and he does what he wants. He doesn't have to dress up. He doesn't have to do anything. He's the host. But our leaders go out, and our premiers and our prime minister go out to the temples and they play dress up, and they pander to the ethnic groups. And so they're basically spending all year campaigning to these ethnic groups because there's holidays all year. And they just need to go cold turkey on that stuff. If the MPs want to go, if it's in their riding and it's a big event, go the MP. But this prime minister getting trotted out to these things is getting kind of ridiculous. Really ridiculous. And, I think they have better things to do, but they don't do it. They won't do it, of course. But they do have better things to do than go to these things constantly. And it just, we're on a vicious cycle. It just encourages more continued sectarianism and enclave politics, which is it's the worst thing. So let's look at the daily thing. Saturday night. Nothing crazy here. Nothing crazy at all. Just a few comments on a few things, and that's it. We'll take it easy tonight. That's me in the morning. All right. First tweet here. Elderly homeless. Sorry. Oh, look at the picture here. Elderly homeless population increasing in Canada. I really don't know where to even begin. Yeah, it's horrible. I actually knew somebody who was elderly and homeless. And she's dead now, but there are people that are like that are in like the shelters, in and out of the shelters, living in their kids' basements, whatever. It's horrible. Welcome to Canada. Mark Carney and the globalists would rather house migrants than help seniors. The only thing these traders offer Canadian seniors is medically assisted dying, which is disgraceful. Yeah, that's what they do. They say, hey, you don't want to go in the homeless shelter. Here, step into this pod. Elderly homeless. Let's read the damn thing. It's too bad because there shouldn't be a shortage. They don't need that much room. Build them an apartment. All right. Why is this guy in the homeless shelter? 71-year-old Roger Oak. Major cities across the country, those who provide shelter and services to people who are homeless say they are seeing more elderly people turn to them for help. It's leading to a shift in how they do their jobs and type of care they are providing. They often must juggle complex medical needs, of course, with basic considerations like ensuring seniors get beds closer to accessible washrooms. Okay. So it's just people, basically old people who don't have kids to help them and they got no money. Welcome to Canada. A little more good news. Of course, when homeless thing goes up, everything, seniors, everybody, young people, everybody becomes more homeless. But next, Islamic values are not Canadian values, and there ain't nothing bigoted in saying that. Yeah, I don't know why he said that, to be honest. He's not. That's kind of a Trudeau thing to say. And then here's another thing he's talking about, Mark Carney, is about his public safety minister, who was formerly the justice minister. And the justice minister before that, they're both born outside of Canada. So it seems like we have a habit of putting justice ministers and immigration ministers who aren't even born in Canada. And, it's kind of weird. I'm sure that some of them I'm sure they're good people, but it just leaves too many weird situations that could arise, especially given the focus on foreign interference. But Canada, we're not a country anymore, so it doesn't matter. So Gary Anandasangiri, the minister who wants power to check your mail and track your phone, had to screen out of Sri Lankan Tamil issues due to personal connections. So he was like a lawyer or something for the Tamil Tiger political organization in Canada. I don't know. Why is this guy public safety minister? I mean, the guy grew up in like Sri Lanka or something. It's ridiculous. And he's got to regulate guns safety in Canada. I mean, he didn't grow up on a Canadian farm or experience like the gun culture of this, whatever. Anyway, the point is why do we have this habit of putting in powerful, like important cabinet posts to foreign-born people? And he was asked all these questions. He doesn't know anything. He was asked about the restricted firearms and the firearms course. Didn't know anything. He's just a hack. Let's see what he says here. And Carney defends all these guys. He defended the Chinese guy until the guy quit.
Gary Anandasangiri's potential conflict of interest, and that he would have to step back from any national security decisions related to the Camel community when you appointed him, and are you concerned about the perception around this issue of a public safety minister who can't make national security decisions on a significant area?
I'll say Minister Anandasangiri has the highest standards of integrity. He's absolutely meticulous. He performed his duties as Justice Minister, amongst others, Attorney General, with a very clear focus on
look at this twitchy behind him.
Be actual or perceived conflicts. Perceived.
You come here? Hey, that would not be wise.
So yeah, like it's ridiculous. The guy's, I don't think he's gonna last. I think he's spooked now, because after like Andrew Lawton made him look like a dummy. I've been saying it for a while now to ban people born and raised outside Canada from becoming cabinet ministers. It's a joke because it happens way too often. Like I can see us having a foreign-born prime minister. I think John Turner was actually. He might have been born in England when he was a baby and came to Canada. And then probably some of the older prime ministers were born in England, maybe. But the point is I could see us having like a foreign-born. I mean, we've had foreign-born mayors, foreign-born cabinet ministers, probably foreign-born premier. I think Dusange from BC was. But, yeah, why not? Here's a little old-school Canadian. This thing's going a little viral, and I didn't. It looks pretty real because I go to Tim Hortons, and apparently these punks, a punk kid, a dumb kid, he didn't know any better, and he was thought he was cool with these girls, and the culture. Because when I was this age, I would never have done this in a million years. Maybe though, you never know. Kids are dumb, but throwing food at old people in let's say a McDonald's, or because I don't think Tim Hortons was the local donut shop, let's just say, would never. It would be unheard of, or very rare. But this guy gets out and starts throwing hands, and he looks like he's like 80 years old. But sometimes those guys are the meanest. Sometimes because they have no fear. They're 1 foot in the grave. So why would you piss him off? And if he had a cane, man, with those canes are heavy. The cane would mess you up. So he's lucky, that kid, that the guy didn't have a cane. Because what are you going to do? Put him for murder? He'd be dead before the trial starts. All right, I want to see this. Don't throw food at an old man's wife. And that should be like a lesson that you put on the wall of the high school. Don't throw food at an old man's. He's lucky he didn't have a cane, because the kid would have been mauled. Let's see this. Ooh, boom. Boom, the kid's scared shitless. And then the other guy slaps him too. That kid should have got thrown out of Tim Hortons. But the debate would be, is this guy justified? I think he is. Oh man, if my kid did that, they would get so much punishment until they corrected that behavior. So that kid will be, his parents will be very unhappy with him. 14-year-old. Look at that guy. He's drinking some Timmy's ice cappuccino there. Boom. 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 See, they should have been kicked out of the Tim Hortons, but the guy working there probably didn't even know English, so you couldn't kick him out. Okay. The kid's probably going to be scarred for life now. Hey, kid, I'm telling you. You're lucky he didn't have a cane. The cane would have got you good. Prime Minister Mark Carney celebrates Eid in Ottawa. Says Muslim values are Canadian values. And like I said before, said, when's the last time a Canadian Prime Minister said Christian values are Canadian values? I've never heard it. Maybe Harper said. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. It's kind of a weird thing to say because we're not a Muslim country, but who wants those Muslim votes? This is a good one. The company that worked on ArriveCan app barred from government contracts for 7 years. And so, yeah, instead of going to jail, nobody went to jail, I don't think. They just got a ban for 7 years. Yeah, it kind of should be a permanent ban, but a permanent ban is... They would just change the companies. They would just create a new company anyway, so I guess whatever. The point is, it's a $50 million app that a university student could have designed for, like, it's crazy. I never used it. It was a garbage app. Could you imagine if we had to use it forever? Next post. More crime news. Edmonton police identify 32-year-old male as actively wanted and asking the public for help locating him. The suspect, identified as Rajendran, is currently wanted on more than 60 outstanding criminal warrants. 60 outstanding warrants. One's like a big deal. I'm sad. How the hell do you get 60 warrants? Oh, he uses multiple aliases to avoid detection, including Ramanath. Okay, I'm not saying the words. But this is weird. I've heard this before, like with the Somalis too, in Minnesota, is they give you the wrong name and everybody's got the same name, like they're all Mohammed, whatever. So when they go in the courts, nobody knows who they are. It's crazy. And this guy's doing the same thing. He's confusing them, and they're dummies, and they're letting them get away with it somehow. 60. So he's a con artist or something. Scammer. Surprise. Who knows what he is? 60 warrants, though. That's got to be a record. Next post here. I saw this column. Read it. Wasn't nothing new, but it's just Carney's overall immigration plan is one that will largely maintain Trudeau era intake numbers, leaving Canada an even more crowded place. So yeah, basically that's the theme, and I said this just at the start, is that Trudeau is gone, but the stuff is still going on. Like the same policy is still going on. In fact, they might even go on more efficiently without Trudeau. So yeah, we're screwed. Look at this guy. Douglas Murray calling Dave Smith a clown. Yeah, he's butthurt over that last Rogan thing. Let's see what he says.
With her. Really unprofessional. Just shouting that she was interested watching Piers Morgan a couple of days ago talking to the international lawyer, a friend of mine, Natasha Hausdorff, and being exceptionally rude and dismissive and disparaging and really unprofessional with her. Really unprofessional. Just shouting that she was talking bullshit and not allowing her to finish an answer, and just such ugly, ugly hatred that he was expressing towards what was just a different opinion from the one that he's found himself holding. And he turns to comic Dave Smith and he says, you know, these Israelis, they're treating us like that we're just clowns, you know, sort of thing. You get, your other guest is literally a clown. That's his job. His job is to be a clown. The fact that I don't think he's ever said anything funny to my knowledge. But it's like there in the name. Your job's to be kind. You look a little bit at these people and you think, what do I have to pay attention to this? Where does it become serious enough that you have to pay attention? And I think it becomes serious enough that you have to pay attention when this falls into a groove which is just highly recognizable, and if it falls into that groove and it actually has some impact. And it's quite hard in our current media and the social media landscape to work out what is impactful. So that, as I say, there's been a sort of flattening process whereby an international lawyer like Natasha Hausdorff, 20 years experience at the bar, is to be invited on as a guest with a comedian, and not just as equals, but actually as her then worse off.
Yeah. All right.
Like,
I just like, it's funny. I always think of Family Guy when this guy talks. The British. Yeah, he keeps talking. He just butthurt because he got slammed on Rogan. I remember that. He's an Israeli shill. Douglas can call me whatever names he wants, but people see who the real clown is. The days of unimpressive lying chicken hawks lecturing the rest of us are over. I agree. I'm on Dave Smith's side. Next post. This is interesting. Ireland. For some reason, Ireland is like a total open borders globalist state. I don't know why. It's like Canada, but on like a smaller scale. And people are getting, people are shoving, like the government's shoving, like migrant centers in the middle of towns. It's crazy, and like people, the Irish people are just being shuffled aside. Even Conor McGregor is like trying to run for president and ban all these open border policies. So it's interesting. It's also the UK too is having a lot of problems. So it's kind of interesting to watch that because it could come here to Canada if things get boiled over a little. But look at these guys fighting the cops good. So they're probably protesting like some migrant center. Oh. These cops don't have no riot helmets or nothing on. They open targets. Oh, they're backing off pretty quick. We'll see what happens in Ireland. It's hard to say. I don't live there, so it's hard to say how widespread that sentiment is, but it seems like it is. Crazy stuff in Ireland. Next, this is an interesting tweet. Stephen Lecce, our energy minister, who was previously the Ontario Environment or Education Minister, and during his tenure, did nothing to get rid of all this LGBTQ plus A stuff out of the elementary schools and the kindergartens and the children's agencies. Did nothing. And now he's our energy minister. I don't know how he's doing on the energy point here. But I thought this was interesting in his tweet. He said, Simcoe's region is expected to increase by 53%, and Barrie's population is doubling by 2051. So he says, we're planning ahead. We're going to build all the electricity, nuclear, everything. But the point of this is, like, the only way Barrie is going to double in size is if we keep immigration going. There's no way it's going to double on its own by natural birth rates. Same with Simcoe. So they obviously have an open borders policy plan for decades. Like, it's not about liberal or conservative. It's about globalist or not globalist. And the globalists are going to flood they want the 100 million in Canada. They want to centralize the control. Like, I see how Carney wants to do one economy now instead of like each province have control of their economy. They want centralized, that's a globalist thing. Centralize everything. And now this guy's basically saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna bring on millions more people. Don't worry, we're gonna get the electricity ready for them." So I thought that was an interesting tweet. So I said they're not even hiding their fetish for mass immigration, because they're not. They don't have to live with the results. They just live in their nice condos or communities. Ridiculous. Oh well. Next post. This is one of his first bills. This is kind of an early indication too. So much wrong in this bill, but like he masks it with good stuff. Like he wants to stamp. He wants to cut down like the loopholes for asylum seekers. Good thing. But there's a lot of bad things. Like one of the provisions is apparently to money launderers, to fight money launderers, make it illegal for businesses, professionals, or charities to accept cash payments of more than $10,000. So a lot of places don't like that. I mean, the point of this is, whether it's a good thing or bad thing, the point is this is what Europe's doing. They're making cash more illegal to use. Even between individuals, I think you're prohibited from using a certain amount of cash. So they're making it harder. So that kind of gives you an idea of his priorities. He wants to kind of, minimize the use of cash and call it as a fight against money laundering or whatever, criminal gangs or whatever. But they want their digital currency and control of it, because they can shut it off whenever they want. It's crazy. It'll be interesting. So I'm sure ultra-globalist Mark Carney will extend this rule to individuals eventually, because that's what they'll do. Start on businesses and then go to individuals. The war on cash, the globalists love digital currency. We'll see. We'll start using coins and see how they like that. Here's our friend Rabbi Shmuley in Spain. He gets into trouble everywhere he goes. It could be in Times Square. It could be in Times Square. Could be in a hotel in Miami, or it could be in Spain, apparently, Toledo, Spain. He has to go in and bug people.
How are you?
Listen, this is...
Did you touch me? Excuse me. He just came over and pushed me.
Little goblin has to go run into the cops.
You just pushed me.
Rabbi has to go run to the cop.
Walk away. Walk away. Walk away.
Oh my God.
Walk away. Thank you. Walk away. Walk away. I think I'm afraid of them. That guy just came and pushed me. Don't you dare touch me. Look at these thugs. I think I'd be afraid of them. Thugs. Thugs. And the police allowed him to just push me like that.
Oh.
You just want to visit Spain?
Didn't they open the gates of Toledo? They don't like him there. Look at they're staring him down. Get out of here, Schmooly.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
That's funny. You know, wherever he goes, this guy finds trouble. Little goblin. Here's the next. This is another thing about our Minister of Public Safety, Gary, whatever. And Sangari. Shocking as this to witness this exchange does not surprise me. She's talking about the exchange here. I remember this yesterday. Hold on.
Does the minister know what the CFSC is?
I'm a minister.
It's kind of painful to watch.
Member.
I'll stipulate, Chair, that is the Canadian firearm safety course that all gun owners in Canada have to do to get their firearms license. Has the minister ever done the Canadian firearm safety course?
The Honourable Minister.
Speaker, it's my third week on the job.
Oh.
No, I have not.
The Honourable Member.
Does the minister know what safety classes and safety demands are expected of law-abiding Canadian gun owners?
The Honourable Minister.
This is not about law-abiding gun owners, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, I don't know.
How can the minister make that claim when he doesn't know the basic fundamentals of law-abiding gun ownership in this country, Chair?
All right, yeah. So, yeah, she was commenting, saying, when will Canadians have enough of being governed by these without skill or experience? When will they recognize that no one is going to save them? And they have to get educated and involve themselves. Most importantly, when will adults be in charge? So, yeah, he's starting to look a little out of his depth, but gotta have him in there. Got him spooked, at least. Next post. Carney ignores his own constitutional power to approve pipelines. He's using provincial obstructionists as an excuse not to build them. Like many of us been saying, guy does not want to build a pipeline. He has the power to make it happen, but instead will continue to hold endless meetings to talk about them making sure none get built. Yeah. We'll see. Time will tell. It is a little bit early, but I'm pretty sure we'll be, in a year from now, we'll be talking about the same thing. No pipelines. Here, this post is a little interesting, I thought. Carney is much more conservative than most conservatives. So I thought that was interesting because he doesn't really matter if he's conservative. More conservative than Justin Trudeau, or as conservative as Pierre Poilievre. He's a globalist, and at this point, it's irrelevant. He's either one or the other. He's ultra globalist, trying to close the deal on the final destruction of Canada. So get out of this liberal conservative mindset. It's either you're destroying Canada or you're not. Here's Trump responding to the bombings in Ukraine.
Did that change your view at all of the bombers?
He likes to talk like, say it like it is, eh?
Did that change your view at all of what's the cards he has?
Well, they gave Putin a reason to go in and bomb the hell out of him last night. That's something I didn't like about it. When I saw it, I said, here we go. Now
Here
it's
we go.
gonna be a strikeout.
How are you?
He always gives an honest answer. It's funny. This is funny. A tiger in India or something, a lion. There was a homeless dude, and he's gonna go eat the guy. And he took one whiff, and he was like, "See ya." So I said, "Saved by the smell," like Saved by the Bell. Poor guy, though. He's homeless, and then he almost gets eaten by a tiger. Next post. This is pretty crazy. Colombian presidential candidate. I guess they're having a presidential election. And it takes a headshot here. Colombian politics is nasty. It's nasty. It's nasty.
Segundo,
look at this shit.
salud mental. El principal problema en Colombia.
I can't watch that. That's nasty. And he's still alive as of right now. But I don't see him making a big recovery from that. Like, that went right in his head. Colombia. I think, try running for president in Colombia. That's like, how many Colombian presidents have been shot or blown up? Here's our next post here. That's the finance minister. Pierre Champagne and Philippe Champagne and Mark Carney. And this is what I was saying before. They want to merge 13 economies into one, build it into the strongest economy in the G7. And he's like, what's the word that best describes the centralization of power and control of a nation's economy? Like, they want to do these nation-building projects. Centralized control. It sounds a little fishy, right? It sounds like a little Soviet Union stuff. All right. Next post here. We're almost done here. It's been a long day. That's our public safety minister. Do you feel safer knowing he's in charge? No. He looks like a deer in the headlights. Little pudgy little guy. But yeah, literally born and raised in Sri Lanka, and now he's like the public safety minister of Canada. Like, it makes no sense. Next. This post kind of dovetails on the Ireland video. Massive protests against migration. England, massive protests against migration. Poland doesn't even accept migrants. Where's that leave Canada? Accepting 3% to 4% of its population in low-skilled third worlders every year. We live in a clown country. Yes. It's crazy. And nobody says anything because the globalists want to fill Canada up. That's their goal. Crazy. And that's it. All the good news. But yeah, that's my conclusion. Is he's basically, nothing's changed. Like, they basically shifted. They basically shifted all the blame for the mismanagement onto one guy, and then they got rid of that guy, and then they expect us to go along like, oh, it's all good now. And I think as the months go by, people are going to realize, yeah, it's going to get worse, not going to get better with these guys running things. So we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, the next broadcast here is tomorrow, June 8th, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see what happens on the Sunday news circuit, and also look forward to what's coming up, including the big G7 summit coming to Alberta next week. That should be interesting. Trump's going to be there. Modi's going to be there. Zelensky. It's going to be crazy. So, anyway, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow night. Everybody have a nice night, and thank you for calling.